Imagine waking up one morning to find your neighbors covered in black boils, coughing up blood and collapsing in the streets. Within days, half your town is dead, and no one knows why. This was the terrifying reality of the Black Death, the deadliest pandemic in human history. But what exactly was the Black Death? How did it spread so quickly? And how did it change the course of history forever? In this video, we take a deep dive into the origins, impact, and lasting consequences of one of the most devastating plagues the world has ever seen. The Black Death, also known as the bubonic plague, is believed to have originated in the plains of Central Asia. Historians suggest that the disease first spread among Mongol tribes and then followed trade routes, particularly the Silk Road, reaching Europe by the late 1340s. The Black Death was caused by the bacterium Yersinia pestis, which was primarily spread by fleas that infested rats. These rats thrived on merchant ships, in bustling markets, and in overcrowded medieval cities, creating the perfect conditions for an unstoppable outbreak. By 1347, the first recorded cases in Europe appeared in the port city of Messina, Sicily, when Genoese traders returned from the east carrying not only goods, but also death. The disease spread rapidly, reaching France, Spain, and England within a year. Unlike previous plagues, the Black Death spread at an astonishing speed. Within just 5 years, it had wiped out nearly half of Europe's population, an estimated 25 to 50 million people. Victims of the plague suffered from horrifying symptoms. Painful swellings called buboes appeared in the armpits, neck, and groin. High fever, vomiting, and internal bleeding followed. Infected individuals usually died within 3 to 5 days. There was no cure, and medieval doctors were powerless to stop it. Many believed the plague was a punishment from God. Others blamed bad air, planetary alignments, or even witchcraft. In desperation, people turned to extreme measures, including religious flagellation, herbal remedies, and mass killings of supposed sinners and scapegoats. The effects of the Black Death were catastrophic. Entire villages were wiped out. Cities became ghost towns, with corpses piling up faster than they could be buried. It seemed like the end of the world. One of the most significant consequences was the severe labor shortage. With so many peasants dead, the feudal system, where lords controlled the land and peasants worked for little pay, collapsed. Workers who survived now demanded higher wages, leading to social mobility and the decline of serfdom in many parts of Europe. For the first time, commoners had bargaining power, leading to economic shifts that eventually contributed to the rise of the middle class. But the plague didn't just affect the economy. It changed people's beliefs and attitudes toward life itself. The Black Death had a profound effect on art, literature, and religion. Many medieval artworks became obsessed with death and the afterlife, reflecting the collective trauma of the time. Paintings like The Triumph of Death depicted skeletons dancing over human corpses, a grim reminder of how fragile life had become. Religion was also shaken. While some people turned to the church for salvation, others questioned its power. After all, why would a just and merciful God allow such suffering? This doubt weakened the authority of the Catholic Church and paved the way for future religious reforms, including the Protestant Reformation. The Black Death had long-lasting effects that went beyond the immediate devastation. In the aftermath, there was a renewed interest in science and medicine. The loss of faith in traditional institutions led to new ways of thinking, which helped spark the Renaissance, a period of intellectual and artistic flourishing. And even today, the impact of the Black Death is still relevant. The COVID-19 pandemic showed us how quickly diseases can spread in a globalized world and how societies react in times of crisis. In many ways, our response to modern pandemics echoes the fear and confusion of the medieval world. So what can we learn from the Black Death? First, pandemics have the power to reshape societies, changing economic structures, cultural attitudes, and even political systems. Second, scientific progress is crucial. What was once seen as divine punishment is now understood as a bacterial infection, treatable with modern medicine. Finally, history reminds us that even the darkest times eventually lead to renewal and transformation. The Black Death was one of the most devastating events in human history. It wiped out millions, reshaped societies, and left a lasting mark on our world. But out of chaos came progress, proving that even in the face of disaster, humanity finds a way to adapt and survive. What do you think was the most significant impact of the Black Death? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more in-depth historical analyses.